What's good, y'all? It's Black Horseman. Shout out to the UGC and True Media. That's everyone that keeps it 100, stand true to who they are, and doing their part in this media. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit that bell icon so that you'll be notified when I upload content and when I do the live streams. At the conclusion of the video, if you like the content, smash the like button and leave a comment below. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.
What's good, man? You know, I wanted to do this video based off something that came up in my previous live stream. We talked about remission for Miller and also sports slaves, okay? And it was very interesting when we analyzed the promoter scheme and how they approach the fight game. And when you actually look at it, right, one of my UGC clique brothers, Jalik the leader, he was making a point and about, you know, how they're putting a lot of backing behind Michael Conlon, who's on the top rank side, and he felt like maybe they should be putting more backing behind somebody like Shakur Stevenson, right, who's very talented, you know, and things like that. And I didn't disagree with him, but it just made me think about these promoters and how, you know, a lot of people like to make it a racial, create the racial narrative behind it, and make it like Bob Arum is biased to, you know, white fighters, or you know, and things like that. But when you look at it, it seems like all the promoters, except for one that I can think about, is biased to their own complexion. Okay, we look at Al Heyman, right? His biggest fighters are black. We got Deontay Wilder and Errol Spence. I think everybody can agree that those are the biggest fighters on the Al Heyman side. You know, even though a lot of people don't consider him a promoter, but he's the one. He's the face of the PBC. You know, he's the one behind the whole PBC operation. You look at Oscar De La Hoya, right? His biggest fighter is Canelo Alvarez. They both Mexican, you know, both Hispanic. So you look at Bob Arum, you know, his biggest fighter is probably Lomachenko. He probably puts more backing and energy behind Lomachenko. That racial bias, you know. But then, you know, all this stuff we've been talking about with Barry Hearn, the father of Eddie Hearn. He kind of brought up this slave trade topic, and of course it just created fireworks all throughout the media. But when you look at it, despite his remarks, their biggest fighter is not white. Their biggest fighter is black. AJ is not a white guy, you know. So all of these promoters, you could say, for the most part, are guilty of showing favoritism in promoting the fighter that is actually of their complexion, their race, and but not on the matchroom side, you know, not on the matchroom side. So that's just something that I wanted to address, because see, a lot of people keep creating, you know, making it, they put more emphasis on this racial crap, and I understand race does play a major factor when in sports, period. You know, people can't get beyond the racial aspect of it. When you look at, it might be a black fighter, right? Let's say like a Deontay Wilder or Errol Spence. Majority of the fan base is going to be black, you know, because we get behind and support our own. If it's a Lomachenko or what other white fighters out there, you know what I mean? The white folks will get behind theirs. Canelo Alvarez, he got the Hispanic community, you know what I mean? So very rare cases where you just find where a fighter has just a diverse group of people that support him, you know. So that's just the nature of it, man. It's just the nature of it. I just think that some of us, we try to magnify what the white man might be doing when the black man does the same thing. We bias to our own side, you know, and we're going to get behind all black fighters just like white fighters going to get behind their own fighters, you know. But me personally, I've gotten to a point where it's like, hopefully you enrolled in the Vita Clean Boxing program. It's Vita or Nada. And also, who are you as a character of a person? And you know, you got clown ass individuals, man. They try to throw this coon word around when you like somebody outside your race. So you just give them some type of shine or promo, and the thing about it is, I judge people by their character, you know, and if their character is all jacked up, I'm not gonna get, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna support that, you know. They got to be able to carry themselves in a certain manner in and outside of that ring, you know, in any sports, you know. I like guys that are role models, you know, set an example to where if my kids watch them, they'll be like, oh, you know, they can learn something from them, you know, not just somebody who just want to be flashy. So a lot of times my people, they'll make up this whole crap like, oh, you a coon because, oh, you don't support this black fighter. Like, man, I support who I want to support. You know, if I don't think you a good person, I don't care what color you are, you're not gonna get my support. You know, if I feel like the athlete is not fighting the best fights, I don't care if we the same complexion, if he got a whole lot of money, that don't impress me. You know, I'm not a starstruck person like that. You know what I mean? But if you are making your money, you fighting the fights that fans want to see, you know, you care about legacy, and you carry yourself in a certain, you know, positive manner, I can get behind that. I can support that. So maybe I just have a very high standard when it comes to these fighters, you know. And I do. I can admit that, you know. You got to be a clean athlete. You know, you got to set a good example. You know, you got to be willing to take risks, you know, fight the best competition. You got to be focused on legacy. You know what I mean? I feel like that's part of being a great fighter. So I don't care what race of that fighter is, you know. I'll give it up to them, you know, if they actually have those factors in that equation. You feel me? So I just thought I'd just address that, man, you know, because a lot of promoters is showing bias to their own. You feel me? And fans do the same thing, you know. So people just got to be honest with themselves, and they got to know when they just as racist as any other person. And what I'm saying by that is, now you may not have been lynching people and going out, you know, calling somebody out of their name and using a racial language or whatever, but still, you know, you show favoritism to somebody of your complexion just because of your complexion and not off who they are on the inside. You know what I mean? I'm a black horseman, man. That's all I got. Peace.